Hey Gemini, welcome to eclipse season. I'm Erica and this is Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. Have a couple of quick announcements and then we'll move on to your astrology and tarot. First, let me welcome and say hi, hello, thank you. I'm so honored that you're here, to all of the new viewers and subscribers that have found this channel in the last month. I created this channel back in May and it has really kind of taken on a life of its own and I'm beyond thrilled. Thank you for being here. We're about to experience a very rare eclipse season. We're going to undergo 3 eclipses. We're used to having them in pairs. This is also known as the time that astrologers call the thinning of the veil. And eclipses at one time in history were regarded as something to be feared, but now really what you need to understand is that eclipse season just pulls you back on the path that you should have been on all along, and how traumatic that eclipse season is depends on how far off the path you've been. The impacts of eclipses can usually last up to 6 months. It really depends on what it is that does happen as to it being 6 months or not. The eclipse season that brought me back on a path that I should have been on was October 2014, the blood moon eclipse. And 2 days after that, my house burnt completely down thanks to my neighbor's negligence. And it was in the middle of the night. My fire alarms failed. It was not a good situation. And I have PTSD because of it. So to say that was a 6-month event, no. It really does depend on what happens. The last lunar eclipse that we experienced was on March 23rd this year, and it was at 3 degrees of Libra. The last thing that I want to mention, that was my dog Zoe, but that's not what I wanted to mention, but yeah, she likes to jump around in the background sometimes. This is a prenumbral eclipse. That means where the sun and the moon and earth are all going to be aligned in almost a straight line. This eclipse will be occurring at 25 degrees of Aquarius, which is fixed air energy, and the fixed signs are known for being goal-oriented or determined, or on the not-so-precious side, inflexible and stubborn. I did a little bit of research on the word fixed. It comes from the Latin word fixus, which means to latch onto or to fasten. And the Sabian symbol for 25 degrees Aquarius, where we're having this full moon lunar eclipse, Gemini, it reads, a butterfly with the right wing more perfectly formed. Sabian symbols were created in 1925 by a clairvoyant named Elsie Wheeler, and they are used to describe 0 to 30 degrees of each zodiac sign of the astrological wheel. I figured this spoke a little bit to what's going on. I like to look at it as letting your freak flag fly. I have Uranus in my first house natally, and I am an Aries sun, so I'm dealing with a Uranus transit as well. So the rebel is strong with this one. Pardon me. Okay, Gemini. With this eclipse being in an air sign, you're going to be able to navigate that energy just a little bit better than most. So, yay, you. I hope that this eclipse season brings forth some really positive things for you, or allows for some really positive growth. But for right now, I'm going to transition to the astrology and then on to the tarot. If you sat through this introduction, thank you so much. Cool points for you. And yeah, I'll have this timestamp below. I'm also going to have 2 different videos in the description as well. One will be dealing with the planet Uranus and Eris. The other will be talking about the fixed star Antares and a situation that kind of manifested in my very best friend's world at the very beginning of this summer. It's a very sad story, but I want to give you as much information on this energy as I can, and that includes telling you how these stars play out in my world too. So that's the best way I can relate the energy, is through personal experience. Thanks y'all for hanging out with me. I'll be right back. Hey Gemini, it's Erica. This is your second half of August forecast astrologically, so here we go. On the 18th of the month, we will be experiencing a full moon lunar eclipse at 25 degrees Aquarius, and this will be occurring in your 9th house. The 9th house for you, well, the 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, and it represents long-distance trips, adventures or questing, higher education, philosophy and religion, or legal system matters. It could also speak to astrology. So, anything dealing with the higher mind, or that makes you see the world on an expanded scale. So the full moon lunar eclipse will be occurring there for you. On the 21st, we're going to have some pretty strong energy going through your 11th house. We'll have the moon, which will be in Aries, conjuncting Uranus and Eris. So the moon represents our response. Uranus represents the planet of shocks and surprises, change, liberation, and rebellion. Eris you can think of best as Xena, warrior princess, and Aries is, well, fierce and courageous and impulsive. So you're going to have all of this energy playing out for you on the 21st in your 11th house, which is the house that is ruled by Aquarius, strangely enough, and could also speak to the internet, but friends, groups, future wishes, goals, and dreams, bucket list type energy, and the memberships that you are associated with, or associations that you may belong to, anything that you may have a membership to. The word conjunct means it's going to be an amplification of energy. So you're going to have a shocking or surprised, amplified response to something, and it's going to make you embrace your Xena warrior princess, and you're going to feel courageous and impulsive. So you may feel the need to defend something online, or you may feel the need to defend something dealing with groups or friends, and you may feel the need to defend your version of philosophy or your version of religion. And I'm not going to put that to open debate. You have your beliefs, I have mine. Namaste. On the 22nd, we have the sun moving into Virgo, which for you, Gemini, is your 4th house. The 4th house is ruled by Cancer, and it represents home and family. Home is the home that you live in, or where you consider home to be. Family is your immediate family, and that includes children and or your fur babies. It could also speak to your mother and father, or people that you consider to be your parents. It can also represent your roots or foundation. Roots being where you have planted yourself and feel strong and stable, or the same for foundation, something that makes you feel strong and stable. So that's a nice energy moving into the to the 4th house, because the sun represents your will, your assertion, life force energy. That's all really nice. On the 24th, it's like we have the eclipse, and then boom, boom, 2 days, just very, very short energy. Within a week's time, we have a lot going on. On the 24th, we have another strong energy day. Mars and Saturn are going to be, once again, conjunct at 9 degrees Sagittarius, which is on top of the fixed star Antares. And I'm going to have 2 videos linked. If you didn't hear in the introduction, I'll have 2 videos linked in the description below. One dealing with Uranus and Eris, and the other dealing with Antares. Mars is a planet that represents impulse, aggression, and energy. Saturn represents limitation, structure, and containment. This is occurring in your 7th house. The 7th house is ruled by Libra, which is where we had the last eclipse. Partnerships with others, or partnerships, how you identify with others. Could also be dealing with counseling or open enemies. Open enemies are people that you would testify against in open court. But I'm also starting to see this as arguing in an open forum online with another person, or people that there are witnesses to the exchange. But that's a pretty stout energy. I really suggest you go watching that Antares video. Gives you an idea as to what kind of representation that is in the sky. And with it being in a partnership home, things can be very aggressive and warlike in that area for you if you're not navigating it appropriately. On the 29th, we have Venus moving into Libra. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, and harmony, and Libra loves Venus, and Venus loves Libra. Venus rules Libra. It also rules Taurus. This happens to be your 5th house, Gemini. Gemini The 5th house is pleasures, social life, children, and creativity. It is a Leo-ruled house, so it's always nice to have that. With Venus also moving into the 5th house, the 5th house can represent lottery and gambling, so you may want to maybe buy a lottery ticket. Don't bet the farm, but $1 or $2 wouldn't kill anybody, right? On the 30th, we have Mercury going retrograde at 29 degrees of Virgo in your 4th house. Mercury is the planet of thought, communication, and movement. It's how you think, and it's how you verbally react. It's how you digest information. It's also how you get from point A to point B. So it can cover a lot of different things. The 4th house is dealing with home and family. So you may have to deal with communication or reevaluating communication with home and family matters, or reevaluate how you're going to get home from work or whatever. You may have some construction that you have to dodge or something. So that's what I'm seeing for you astrologically, Gemini. I almost called y'all Cancer, sorry. I just did the Cancer video. Well, I didn't just do it, but yeah, it was the first one of these series that I had to record without the internet, so yay. But yeah, Gemini, that's what I'm seeing for y'all for this second portion of August. Why don't y'all sit back and relax, let me get my tarot cards, and we will see what messages want to come forth that way. Thanks so much for being here. I'll be right back, y'all. Hang tight. Hey Gemini, I'm back with the cards, and I've been shuffling and meditating, asking for the general messages for my Gemini friends for this August Aquarius full moon lunar eclipse. All right. You had one card fall. I'll go ahead and cut for you now. I'm trying really hard not to bump my mic. The last video that I did had some pretty intense mic bumpage issues, so if I'm wrestling around, I'm sorry. I'm a noob. I'm still trying to learn how to do all this stuff. So, the bottom card for the overarching theme or the underlying energy, and the top 3 for clarity. You also had a card fall while I was shuffling. Got my healing and meditation oracle deck. I'm also going to be shuffling, asking for the general message for my Gemini friends for this August Aquarius full moon lunar eclipse. Okay. Looks like you got 2. No, you got 3. Woo! Talk about some lagniappe, Gemini. Also going to pull from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild, and the artwork is by Autumn Sky Morrison. I'm so glad y'all like this deck. I've gotten so many positive comments on it. It really speaks to the rebel in me, like I was saying earlier. Alright, and there's that one. Okay. Get my book close. Okay, Gemini. Let me write down the numbers. Okay. You got one numbered card, and that was it. And it's the number 20 card. It's a major arcana card. It's Judgment in reverse, but we'll get to that. The first card The underlying theme or the overarching energy is the Knight of Wands. This is an impetuous, fast-moving messenger that represents the fire signs. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It does not have to be their sun sign. It can be their moon or their rising. This could very well be speaking to me because I am bringing you a message and I am an Aries sun. So consider that as well. The message that is brought to you is usually through technological means because the horses are faster. If it was a page, I would say that this would be face-to-face or snail mail, but because it's on the horse, it's faster moving communication coming to you from a fiery, impetuous, fierce, forceful kind of energy. It doesn't have to be a male, but it can be. We have to dig deeper to find out who this is representative of, but I threw that in there because I am an Aries sun, so that could cover. Okay, let me see how I'm going to read this. Yeah, that's how that needs to go. Alright, Gemini. This is the King of Swords. The King of Swords represents air sign energy, and the air signs are you, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We are having the full moon in Aquarius, so this could back up the energy for this fella even more. It doesn't have to be a man, but it is masculine energy. He's very clear-headed, very level-headed, and is quick to defend, but also very balanced and harmonious. He's got a reconciliatory energy about him. Isn't about the fight, would rather get the peace. I think of, whenever I see the King of Swords, I think of, I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover, but I'll fight for what I love, and that's the embodiment of what this King of Swords is for me. I will say that every head, and there's a lot of people, a lot of character cards that are popping up. Every head is pointed or looking towards this first card of the King of Swords. The card that fell out while I was shuffling initially was the King of Pentacles, and he is in the reverse. The King of Pentacles in the upright normally has all of the resources and then some that he would ever really need. Is surrounded by luxury, but the fact that he's in reverse could be that you think that you have more than what you actually do, or you could be dealing with somebody who is trying to spend more than what you have, or wants more than what you have, or wants more than you're able to give freely. I'm also thinking about kids at school time right now wanting the name brand stuff and only the best will do, and but mom, everybody has this brand and I've got to have this because if I don't, then I'm not cool. I think of that when I think of this guy, especially in the reverse. We are fixing. That's such a southern word. I'm sorry, y'all. But it is what it is, and I'm southern. We're fixing to start the school process again, the back-to-school process. If you haven't started back, you will be starting back soon. So you may feel like you are in need or in lack of money. The Pentacles represent money, resources, anything that you would spend on another living thing or situation. That can be money, time, energy, the resources you have at hand, just energy that you have. The Pentacles also represent earth sign energy, and the earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. It does not have to be their sun sign. It can be their moon or their rising. You will not know that unless you look at their natal chart or they know it and have shared that information with you. But the balance to the King of Pentacles is Judgment, and the Judgment is in reverse for y'all. And this was, like I said, the only numerical card that you got, which really, really, really speaks to money, and even more so because you got two Pentacle cards, but we'll get to that. Judgment is the 20th major arcana card. 2 plus 0 is 2. That speaks to the Taurus ruled, hello, the Taurus ruled second house, which represents money, possessions, earning ability, and self-esteem. The Judgment card as a major arcana it represents Pluto. And Pluto is the planet of deep transformation and deep renewal. It's a very long transit. In the upright, it represents evaluation and summing up. It's like the end of a cycle. But in the reverse, it's almost like you're chasing your tail. It's like every time the way that this spread is laying out, it's like you need the judgment to be upright, because it's like you're going in with this guy's impulsiveness and you're not thinking about the bills at the end of the month, or you're not thinking about the resources that you're going to need for when there's lack. Because the Judgment and the King of Pentacles, it's like you've got a reduction in status now. You've got a reduction in what's going on for you because you lacked the Judgment, because this Judgment card was in the reverse for you. If it's not you, it's somebody you're closely entwined with, dealing with, especially resources. So a business relationship or a romantic partnership in some way. This could be you being all pissed off on the 24th once you realize that what you've been promised isn't going to be given to you, because this is that kind of Mars energy for your 7th house. You're looking, the way that this card is, he's looking at the Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles and the Judgment. It's like hindsight's 20/20. This guy's looking back saying, I wish I had this guy's qualities. Is how this spread is laying out for me, which doesn't really, I mean, it speaks to the partnership and the money. There could be you and your partner could be disagreeing about how to spend the money or spend the resources, which is causing fiery arguments. There's judgment going on, and it's between you and the other person dealing with these resources, and they could have fire sign energy in them, or they could just be dealing with that fiery energy on the 24th. That's what I'm seeing for you in the tarot portion. And like I said, the only numbers that you got were 20, which is 2 and 0, which is speaking to your money, possessions, earning ability, and self-esteem. You got 2 kings, so this could also be looking, or, you know, casting judgment between 2 different individuals that you're looking at for a relationship, possibly. One knows how to manage their money, and one always seems to be broke. Money isn't everything, though, so let me throw that out there as well. Okay, we got 3 healing and meditation cards that all really seem to go very, very nicely together. And I swear this card right here has come up a lot. I think it has shown up for almost every sign that I've read so far. Pilgrimage is, the practice of meditation is itself a pilgrimage with a, let me start over. Thank you, Mercury in Shadow. The practice of meditation is in itself a kind of pilgrimage with a clear end in view. The goal is to find spiritual enlightenment through a gradual but steady increase in self-awareness and self-fulfillment. This meditation is particularly appropriate during an actual pilgrimage or journey, but it can also be tied into everyday situations when you want to consider the broader implications of a meditation practice. Consider the following, Gemini. May I be well prepared in mind and in body for the journey ahead. May I value the guidance received along the way and help in defeating obstacles that may arise. May I use the wisdom gained through meditation to overcome challenges in every area of my life. May I rejoice in reaching the destination. The second card that fell, that was sandwiched between pilgrimage and equanimity, is ritual. Meditation involves many ritual gestures and ceremonies. As long as they're performed mindfully, they will help to strengthen your intentions and contribute to enlightenment. Setting the stage is important for a ritual. Find a place that is especially special to you and create a focused environment, sprinkling water, burning incense, or lighting a candle to set the mood. And consider the following. I am calm. I am still. I will release the pain that weighs me down. As one door closes, another will open. I am ready to move forward on the path before me. The last card that you got was equanimity. And whenever I see this card, I think of yoga and meditation. So this might help you with some of the energies that you are dealing with, Gemini. Consider. The mind and body each affects the well-being of one another. Regular meditation is an excellent stabilizing influence. Whenever you feel assailed by the trials of daily life, particularly in a crowded place such as a subway train, you can restore your mental and physical equilibrium by practicing this calming meditation. May I be steady in this period of change. May I be present in this period of difficulty. May I stay centered in the heat of the moment. May I be free from obsession with the past or future. Balance. Equanimity. You had one Sacred Rebel Oracle card fall for you. The number is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. This is definitely speaking to your money. So Gemini, you are wondering, dealing with, concerned about money in some way, and either you are spending too much or your partner is spending too much. This can be a romantic partner. This can be a business partner. This can be a roommate. Yeah, money's huge, and judgment is around, all around. But the card that you got, Gemini, is Diving for Light. Look at that card. I just love the seahorses. It's like you can literally just kind of imagine the bubbles just kind of effervescently, floating to the top and kind of bursting. I imagine her being like a mermaid princess. I think water. Drinking water, surrounding yourself with water. Maybe going out to the beach if you have that capability or possibility on the weekend. Even the lake or a river would do. If you don't have any of that, get in a swimming pool. If you still don't have any of that, get in a bathtub. If you still don't have any of that, hell, get in a shower. And if you ain't got none of that, just stand under the damn water hose. Get in some water. It may help to ground you a little bit. You may feel very in your head right now with this full moon lunar eclipse happening in an air sign. I really think that this is encouraging you to dive for the light, and the light is not always where one thinks it might be. You would assume the light would be at the top, but sometimes you have to go very deep to find it. I had to go very deep to find the light. Let's see what the Oracle book says. How brave you are. You are diving for light. It can be so much simpler to seek light in the heavenly, which is to look for the blissful, sweet, loving, and kind light. To look for the light in which darkness is, hang on, this is wordy. To look for the light in that which is dark is an advanced task that only a rebellious and brave heart will attempt. You may feel that you have taken such a journey by choice, or you may feel as though you haven't taken this journey by choice. Your innermost being has evoked the situation in your life with the intention that you grow in power, wisdom, and creative juice. It also wants you to experience a bold and fearless trust in life and to become further empowered to live it with zest and courage. The Oracle of Diving for Light speaks of a time when you are called into darkness through life circumstances, situations, relationships, challenges, or inner struggles that defy clear understanding. That darkness may be a creative block, a sense of being in a void, or feelings of depression, rage, sadness, fear, or anxiety, and there may or may not be an obvious cause. The darkness may be generally accepted and socially acknowledged, but there is a socially acceptable or obvious reason for it, such as death, divorce, or retrenchment. However, there may be no obvious justification for your experience of darkness. You may not need a reason to be able to accept it. Likewise, you may struggle to find an unconditional acceptance of your experience. Lord have mercy, I know that feeling. When diving for light, one must be willing to bear the darkness and understand that it has a purpose, much like winter does upon this earth. It is not an error or through lack of consciousness that you are here now. It is a testament to your spiritual growth and your creative process, not a sign that they are lacking or stalling, but growth. The healing process will help you with your inward plunging and how to successfully navigate it. This oracle brings particular guidance that you are powerful, but you are also vulnerable at this time. You may be alert to sabotage and criticism that may make your progress more difficult than it already is. That would be rather unnecessary. At least some people around you might be more attached to their fear and doubt than their faith in your process and the ways of the creative, rebellious, spiritual path that asks us to trust unconditionally. And you may be frightened due to the lack of understanding, and you don't need to carry their fear for them. You have your own process to attend to, and they can choose to be inspired by your journey or frightened by it. They are free to respond as they wish, and whatever those responses are, they are a part of their journey for them to work through, not for you. Diving for the light is a spiritual test and a threshold for all true creative work. We must successfully navigate our ways through this test and pass through the threshold into a new creative birth by staying connected to the light of compassion in our own hearts. This is not an easy test, but it is one that you must be ready for. Otherwise, it wouldn't be coming to you now. So just remember, it is the light of the dark. It is the light of the heart that sustains, and it exists within us always, even in the darkest depths of unknown terrains. I think that's a message of hope and a message of solace for you, Gemini. The fact that the troubles, the tribulations, the struggles that you're going through right now are the part of a birthing process for you spiritually. And birth is a traumatic thing. It is not pretty. Those babies don't come out kicking and screaming because they just feel like raising hell. They've been through hell. Can you imagine 9 months of warmth and comfort and just being in a perpetual hug, and then being pushed and crushed and cramped down and literally just shoved out into a cold, bright world that doesn't seem near as good as where you were? That's traumatic. This too can feel traumatic for you. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I do want to empower you with information that can give you a heads up. That's why I do what I do. So, Gemini, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it more than you know. Once again, I'll have those videos linked in the description below. Please check those out as well. Thank you so much for being here. To all of the new viewers and the new subscribers, y'all are blowing me away. To the people who've been here a while, thank you for coming back and sitting a spell. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for validating my path and confirming that I should have done this a long time ago. It means the world to me, and your presence is very special to me. Without each and every one of you here, this channel just would not be what it is. Thanks, y'all. Until September's eclipses and lunations, take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Understand we're all going through this stuff in just different areas of our lives. Try to reserve some of that kindness and concern for other people if you can. Take care, y'all. I'll see you next month.